Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Tonight we are wrapping up Eye of the Beholder. The Eye of the Beholder may determine value and beauty, but the Eye of Odin determines how it's going to magically give you, quote, power and insight. In Fox's case, it turned her into a ravenous, self-loathing beast who, on multiple occasions, almost kills her fiancé, David Xanatos. Welcome to the conclusion of Eye of the Beholder, where antagonists' lives change and protagonists actually wise up, at least for one episode. Kick in the teeth. When we left off, Goliath was kicking a werefox in the face. A fight ensues, one in which Elisa doesn't shoot because she can't get a clear shot at a beast the size of Goliath. Goliath throws the werebeast, incapacitating her. Incapacitating the werebeast, not Elisa. Sorry to get your hopes up there. You really can't hit that, Elisa. He's got Fox by the wrists there, and they're struggling around. And since when do you shoot monsters? Quote-unquote monsters. Might be one of your relatives there. Xanatos has apparently been watching all this, because he jetpacks down to land beside his girlfriend, Werefox. And remember, he's made sure Elisa and Goliath showed up, thanks to Owen's little anonymous tip. This is all going according to plan. Sort of. Elisa is, of course, accusing him of being to blame. That's a nice continuity note, considering Xanatos had a hand in, and by that I mean pretty much actually planned, turning Elisa's bro Derek into a panther eel bat. Unfazed, David says he feels a, quote, personal responsibility, unquote, for the beast. He grabs the eye and gets thrown across the loading dock by magical electricity. Well, that was unexpected. But, did he really think he'd be that easy? We're only halfway through the episode. This wakes the werebeast up. Goliath has the bright idea of telling her that if Xanatos is her enemy, the Gargs are her friends. Yeah, big mistake. It's so ironic, it's funny. He's talking to Xanatos' biggest fan, outside of Owen. Understandably, she attacks Goliath. He tosses her off again, and she lopes away. The times when she decides to run are telling. It's as if there's a wave pattern with the eye's control and Fox's control. The flights all happen after a fight. Look. Number 1, Fox attacks Elisa in the store. Number 2, Fox attacks David and Owen in the bedroom with the candlestick. Number 3, Fox attacks David at the meat cooler. Number 4, Fox attacks Goliath. Remember, she ran off after each one of those. Perhaps using the super strength drains the eye's energy, giving Fox increased self-control? I don't know. Xanatos is on his feet, about to advance in the opposite direction. Elisa holds him at gunpoint. Why would this work? It didn't work in Reawakening, and it doesn't work now either. What's she going to do if he tries to leave? Take a headshot? Sheesh. Oh, he looks so terrified, Elisa. There he is, looking as cocky as ever. Sorry, Detective. Business. You understand. He says. I love this man's ability to stay cool in a crisis, and I adore his snark. He blasts off back to the castle. So much for that gun. Elisa is distraught about the werebeast, thinking it's another Genutech creation. Logical, I guess. She's sure they should do everything to get the necklace off the beast to keep it from Xanatos. In a moment that shocks me, really shocks me, Goliath doesn't jump on board. What tipped him off? Plan what now? At the castle, Xanatos lands in front of Owen. Ever the master of sarcasm and understatement, Owen takes in the bite mark, and his boss's lack of a helmet, and lack of a fiancé, and says, it would appear that Plan B has not been entirely successful. These guys are two snarky peas in a sarcasm pot, I'm telling you. Xanatos is super calm, which usually means he's plotting or has a plot in motion, usually both. Plan C is now in place. Yes, he actually says Plan C. This is like a parody of all his earlier tags and gambits. Plan C involves the Gargoyles getting the eye from Fox. This is actually a really, really great plan. The antagonist is using the protagonist. He's seen how far they'll go to defeat him, and how good they are at foiling his general plans. Not the little side quest schemes that he achieves, though. I love it. Not one to let his boss off scot-free, Owen notes that it won't be easy to get the eye from the Gargoyles. He's subtly pointing out that Xanatos is putting Fox's life above the eye. He's probably thinking, just admit you love her, we all know it. This is better than a soap opera, or a Shakespearean play. No sooner does Xanatos relate his plan than Goliath lands with Elisa. In a startling reversal, Goliath, the protagonist, who is usually the requisite 5 steps behind the antagonist that every hero must be, nips Xanatos' plan in the bud. Goliath isn't going to rush after the werebeast. Heck, he doesn't even know if it's Fox or not. Even if it is Fox, he's not one of her biggest fans. He helped send her to prison after all. I enjoy seeing the antagonist, especially Xanatos, always be on the top and be ahead of the hero. But when the hero wises up, it forces the antagonists to up their game. Now the antagonist has to grow in skill and power to face the reversal. Xanatos tosses pride to the wind. He admits he's in over his head. He gave Fox the eye because it was supposed to give the wearer, quote, power and insight. 2020 moment. I have a headcanon where Owen has to keep Xanatos from trying it on, but Owen can't say what it does because that would be using Puck's knowledge. Owen can't tell Xanatos anything about it. That means he has to stand there and watch David give Fox something that could kill her. The idea of seeing what the eye would turn her into would be amusing to Puck for about 2 seconds before he realized that it could destroy his OTP. That had to tear Owen/Puck up inside. No wonder he's so willing to jump on Werefox's neck. At least that's my opinion. Goliath thinks it gives some insight into Fox's real character. Well, you know what? We wouldn't really know about that because we don't get much backstory or any other episodes other than some like action-filled episodes here. So I don't know. And I'm a little bit miffed about that. According to Greg, the Eye of the Beholder is from the computer game Disney Interactive was working on. Their eye had metamorphic capabilities too, but it had a Celtic raven design, not the Egyptian-style one we have. Greg thinks it was a timing issue with the developers and the artists. Odin sold his eye for wisdom. Mimir used the eye to see. Sight equals insight, I guess. And I should have a picture of that Celtic design, but I don't. Sorry. Elisa tells Goliath, who's starting to falter, that Xanatos couldn't tell the truth of his life depended on it. She thinks this is his plan D. Well, actually, she's pretty perceptive here. Not denying it, David delivers one of the most beautiful and heartfelt arguments of his life. But it's not my life we're talking about. It's Fox's. And Goliath knows, quote, what it's like to lose someone you love, unquote. That is just powerful. But this shouldn't make a difference. Elisa sure doesn't care. Just desserts, right? He took her brother away. And there's Xanatos looking pretty pitiful, putting his hand on Goliath's shoulder, getting handsy again. Goliath turns away at his new lover's urging, even ignoring Xanatos' hand on his shoulder. Not a good night for you, Xanatos remarks. He literally brushes Xanatos' hand away. Burn the brush off. After Garg and Detective leave, Xanatos asks Owen how long before his armor is finished being repaired. It'll be a few days. Well now, Xanatos is really in a bind. His plans and his armor have failed. Trick or treat. On the street, the Gargoyles are enjoying Halloween. Goliath and Elisa, dressed as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, are dancing. It's costume over costume for the trio. You got Lex in a little aviator outfit, Brooklyn is a pirate, and Broadway, of course, is in a trench coat. And there's the iconic scene of Elisa and Goliath dancing. I love that. They take a break to go into an alley to talk. A guy in a werewolf costume roars at them, resulting in Goliath taking him down. After the poor dude runs off, Goliath observes that not everything is as it seems. If the beast is Fox, and she's dying, they should do something. After all, she's a danger to his city. His city now? Not Xanatos' anymore? Elisa isn't hot on the idea, though. Goliath continues that if, quote, a man like Xanatos can love, unquote, there may be hope for the world. Dang it, Goliath, you were so logical a minute ago. What happened? Love makes people kill other people. Love makes people kill themselves. People who are evil are capable of love. They just put that emotion in a different box from their dirty deeds. Also, they've rationalized their sins anyway. Every villain is the hero of his own story, right? 2020 moment / according to Greg. Greg believes, like Goliath, about, the whole love deal. Greg proves Goliath was right in The Gathering. Xanatos' and Fox's love for each other and for Alex ends up reconciling House Xanatos with the clan. And it really is a beautiful tie-in. I mean, I'm telling you, these writers are masters at the craft. Truly. Goliath admits that he's going to help Xanatos. Good, says a voice from the shadows. Hi there, David. He's been stalking them. That's kind of creepy, but it was necessary. Xanatos plucks the standard Scarab Corp tracker from Goliath's shoulder. It's a 100% repeat of the tracker episode in Awakening Part 4. Old habits die hard, he says. He's so smug. You gotta love him. And, well, he should be smug. There he is. He just sort of, hops over and grabs it off of Goliath's back. And then tosses it over his own shoulder, like he's tossing salt. He has just outmaneuvered Goliath, while Goliath thought he was outmaneuvering Xanatos. I'm almost wondering if Xanatos keeps a few trackers in his pockets at all times, just in case. I mean, he had to think on his feet there. Unless he was expecting Goliath to do that, but it didn't look from his expression like he was expecting that reversal. Anyway, the unlikely heroes troop off together to find Fox. Not surprisingly, she's in the food court. What? That's actually how it's spelled on the sign. C-O-R-U-T. The court is deserted because the werefox sent everybody out in a panic. Xanatos locks the door behind himself and the others as they go in. Werefox leaps down on him and is about to rip his face off for real this time. What changed, I wonder? Is Fox losing more control of herself? And here he is nothing like he was before. He is not calm at all. This totally took him off guard. Has Xanatos not been taking her threat entirely seriously, I wonder? Did he think she was capable or wasn't capable of following through? It looks like she is pulling her hand back to do some damage. Goliath full Nelsons her, saving Xanatos' party face. We all owe Goliath a thank you. Xanatos clears out, back to Elisa. He grabs her pistol, which Elisa is ready to use, crushes it, and politely hands it back. You gotta know there was a lot of satisfaction from that move. She's held that weapon on him twice now. The werebeast throws Goliath out the door. Gotta wonder how she's gonna explain need another weapon to the police force, unless she's just gonna go buy her own, I guess. Goliath crashes into a car, ramming it against a light pole. Oh, look, Margot and Brendan the yuppies are inside that car. Goliath and Werefox jump on top of a nearby building. Xanatos rips off his super cool duster, which I'm totally not jealous of. Underneath, he has under armor. It's got the gauntlets and claws from the exo armor. There's a jetpack and a chest rig. It's like a metal chest armor piece. Under that, he's wearing, it's basically a surfer wetsuit. What? Oh, right, yeah. So, a stripped-down concealed armor is now in his inventory. Nice to know. Also nice to look at. And, I mean, you gotta wonder if he, wears that under, that's the base layer for his regular exo armor, or if this is just a totally different set. Or even something that he sort of rigged up on spur of the moment since his other one's in the shop. Anywho, Elisa is so taken with the new gear that she hugs Xanatos around the neck. Wait, no, she just wants to get to the building's roof. She, jumps on top of him. I don't have time to argue, Xanatos says as he wraps his arm around her waist. Aw, yeah, it's Antag-Protag cooperation time. I love episodes like this. There's conflict upon conflict, one-liner upon one-liner. I can see clearly now. He executes a beautiful jetpack landing, dropping Elisa off beside him. Problem, they're right in front of Werefox. David tries to reason with her. We get a nice Were POV shot. She recognizes him, but her attention goes to Elisa. The detective morphs into Fox's image, so Werefox lunges. And we've got a picture of that, and of the fox that Fox is seeing or hallucinating. I wonder how much that of what she sees is a hallucination. Like when she sees David, like does it change to something else? I don't know. Be nice to know. A second ago, this image was Elisa, and then Xanatos and Elisa are looking at each other, kind of confused about all this. Yeah, looking at each other is really going to help there, guys. While Xanatos gapes, Goliath tackles the werefox, who's lunging at Elisa. He does it in slow motion. It is impressive, to say the least. Alright, let's slow down too. Werefox attacks herself, or what she perceives as herself. That's some self-loathing there. Does David know this about her? Is she hiding something? Is that why she's so cocky and rebellious all the time? Like compensating, maybe? Her parents are divorced, her dad is controlling, and her mom, it's 2020 here, is more of a hippie than anything else. At any rate, she's kind of just does her own thing. I don't know how much she actually had, control over Fox's behavior as a kid. Like, she just sort of let her run rampant. Fox grew up privileged, too. I imagine she's got her own demons to keep on a leash. David's probably got a good pack of them, too. Maybe they can help each other through. I have a headcanon that David and Fox spend some one-on-one time discussing their pasts after this one. Goliath and Werefox tangle. Goliath pins her against the lighted Mercury building sign, which is sparking while bulbs explode. We got some pictures of that. It takes Xanatos 2 tries to get a hold of the eye. Then he gets the full force of the magical electricity. Oh, that's going to hurt in the morning. And a little bit of a nod to Highlander there with the electricity. And you got all kinds of colors going on here. You got the white bulbs exploding, the pink light exploding from the eye, and the blue electricity wrapping around Xanatos there. Thanks to the electricity, he probably couldn't let go even if he wanted to. You know how all your muscles tighten up if you get shocked? Werefox and the magical energy throw him across the roof and into the railing. Thank goodness for that railing. Good news, though. He's got the eye, even if he broke a few ribs doing it. Hopefully that chest rig protected. I bet he's wishing he left that thing in the museum. Yeah, maybe that's why he shouldn't steal things. With the roaring whale, Fox reverts to human form. While the boys recover, Elisa has the sense to detach her skirt and cover naked Fox with it. Elisa has a holster as a garter. There you can see there. A second later, the Xanatos Enterprise's security forces chopper hovers over the scene. It's the same chopper Bruno's gang used when they fake stole the discs from the castle in Awakening Part 2. I'm almost wondering if they thought maybe they would need to wrestle Werefox into that thing. That does not sound like a fun operation. Because it's a bigger chopper, looks like it probably has more, at least more room in it, but probably also more lift capability. And then you've also got, looks like, little missile launcher thing, maybe a little pod there on the wing. When the chopper lands, Owen hops out. Good old Owen, always there when you need him. Xanatos and a Goliath parley. Goliath demands the eye. Xanatos calls it a trade. That means he's not losing to Goliath, see? Goliath says he doesn't trust Xanatos with it. Then, for a reason I will never know, instead of just walking off, David says, "So now you know my weakness." And look at that picture, their expressions. Picture says 1,000 words. I mean, you really have to see it. And Goliath's kind of irritated, and Xanatos is he's relieved and kind of smiling there. David, why are you still talking? Why aren't you over there with your love? Go, man, go. But he doesn't. It's like he has to admit it to Goliath in order to understand what's going on himself. Or he's admitting he loves Fox, but he's making darn sure Goliath knows he's aware it's a weakness, not some frilly emotional crap. And since David knows it's his weakness, he'll be guarding it. Goliath is like the older brother or even a dad here. Only you would regard love as a weakness. Well, Xanatos is not really happy with that answer. probably wasn't expecting something like that. I don't think David has anybody he can go to for advice. There's Owen, yes, but it's not like having, I don't know, a mentor. Sometimes it's good to get wisdom from someone older or at least more experienced than yourself. In a weird way, Xanatos seems to look up to Goliath. According to Greg, Xanatos likes Goliath as a person. According to me, Xanatos also likes Goliath as a playmate who can give him a challenge, adding some excitement to a life that was getting boring. Heroic bastard. David picks Fox up, gently, and carries her to the chopper. She wakes up a bit. He tells her it was all a bad dream. The tenderness in his voice, Frakes is doing his usual stellar performance, I'm telling you, is intense. If all he's gone through for her so far doesn't prove he loves her, this will. Owen is smiling. What have I said about Owen smiling? He says, actually, Mr. Xanatos, he's right. You've never looked more heroic. In a character-defining moment, Xanatos looks into the distance for a beat, then replies, a momentary lapse, I assure you. Apparently, not every villain is the hero of his own story. I love that David takes pride in being an amoral, magnificent, bastard trickster. Know thyself. Nearly our family is together again. It's a shot with Owen, Xanatos, and Fox. Xanatos steps into the chopper, Fox in his arms. Owen watches them, wearing a dreamy smile. This is definitely his OTP. And there's the picture. Did you get that? Owen has a dreamy smile. Yes. 2020 moment. Puck's enjoyment and love of David and Fox as an item is the reason Owen exists. So, the dreamy smile is 100% appropriate. I have so much respect for the Gargoyle cast and crew, and this is part of why I do. Final thoughts. Oh, it's over already. Wow, this episode blew me away. I don't have many thoughts on it other than what I've already said, which is a lot. However, I will say it'll be interesting to see where this engagement thing goes. David Xanatos marrying, Fox marrying, them marrying each other. Well, okay, that makes sense. How will Fox and David's relationship change their behavior toward the Gargoyles, especially after Goliath helped him out there? House Xanatos is going to be an even bigger threat, I bet. I wish we got some scenes where Fox and David talk about what happened. Like, maybe it leads them to admitting some concerns or struggles they have. If you're curious, too, or if you like time travel, or if you want to see David Xanatos' dad get crotchety with his billionaire industrialist son, or if you want to see Demona and Goliath when they were young, or you're just bored, check back next time for another of my favorite episodes, Bows. So, what did you think about the episode? Did you like it as much as I do? Is it one of your favorites? What did you not like about it? I don't know. Whatever. Go ahead and you can comment here. You can comment on the blog. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.